Hello and welcome to What's Map for Cities Skylines, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. There are thousands of items on the workshop now, so finding the right one for your next city build is a huge task. So each day, Monday to Saturday, we'll review some using our 5-star rating and the coveted seal of approval. So join me, fellow Skylines explorers, as we venture out to today's new land. Who am I? I'm BonBonB, and you are very, very welcome.
Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. BonBon here, how are you doing? Me? How am I doing? I'm actually a little bit low, a little bit deflated. Yes, I'm recording this on the night that England went out of the World Cup. And while you're not here to listen to me talk about football, and I won't go on about football, although it will be mentioned today, it's just taken the wind out of my sails. Still well done to the boys for getting as far as you did. Okay, let's do some map reviewing, shall we? Today's map has got a great name, Ozark Ridge, and the creator has got a great name, Balloon Wars. It's a double win. I like that indeedy. Let's have a look at the start square. The start square is amazing. Look at the huge amount of build plane, very flat there with the water and the highway connection. That is as good as it gets. The resources are a little bit vanilla-ish. Can't really moan too much about that, but they're all very centered together. And then if we go to the workshop, it seems that we only need to get the realistic Boreal theme and the evergreen LUT. Be nice to have had links to those in the required items, but we can get by. However, look at the trees. These trees look like Pidelmo's trees to me. The generic trees, or possibly the low tri trees. Not checking. Haven't got the time to check. Haven't got the will to check. I'm going to cry later. But no, seriously. Yeah, I think we're looking at some custom trees here. That said, it's always a good idea to have a few Pidelmo trees anyway. But you might need to make sure you've got the right ones. Of course, it does also mean that I might be missing some trees. There might be trees missing from this map that I'm completely unaware of. Ah, perfect bridge. Perfect bridge warning. Simple, straightforward. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Also, I'd like to point out the perfect highways. Now, I don't know if these have been done freehand, or maybe with the new parallel road mod, which would be cheating. But everybody's going to be doing it now anyway, which is going to make for some very dull shows of everybody using parallel mod to just bring out perfect highways. It's a plopped intersection by the looks of it, and it's very nicely done. We've got the connection here, just bears off a little bit to join up, but it has to be done anyway, one way or another. And here is your start square. Loads of build space there. If I pull right up, you'll get a better overview. In fact, what I'll try and do is I want to line this up roughly with how the start square would look. Hang on. It's hard because it's got a rectangle and the start square is obviously square. I think it's something a bit like that is what you're working with. Loads of build space. Yeah, I can't be sure whether or not I'm actually missing a whole bunch of trees, but I think the tree coverage, it doesn't look like I'm missing a whole bunch of trees. Does that make sense? I mean, I've got loads of trees subscribed to, dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of them, so I'll be surprised if I'm missing any anyway. But if I was, the only way I'm going to be able to know is by going into the loading screen and mod reports and going through that. And to be honest with you, I just don't have time for that. I don't have time for it. Just come in, do a flyby, have a little look at the map, and if there's anything missing, I blame the creator. Let's have a look at the rail. The rail isn't too bad. This is slightly slopey. There's a few areas where the rail is not realistic in the amount of slope, and considering it's a realistic looking map, you might not like it. That said, those of you who aren't into your railway realism probably wouldn't notice that it's not strictly the most realistic layout. Actually, speaking of rail layouts, there's one thing I would change with this map over anything else. We've got the 2 highway connections, but we've actually got 3 rail connections. You can see from the junction coming up here, we'll have the 3rd route heading off out this way. If I pull up, you should get a better idea where that goes to. Bears off that way, and then up across the river, and then up alongside the river on the right hand side there. Yeah, so we've got 2 highway connections but 3 rail connections. But if I'm completely honest with you, I don't think the rail connections make an awful lot of sense, geographically speaking. It's not horrendous, and the map certainly works. It just, if you suspend some disbelief and go, hang on a second, why is this road why is this rail heading this way? Nice rail over the road bridge there, by the way. Nicely worked. Possibly a little bit steep on the up and a little bit steep on the down, but it's not the worst by any stretch of the imagination. Could have come in absolutely parallel with the hill before. But yes, it's far from the worst. It's not just super realistic, and that's the point I'm making. Anyway, what to do. Let's do today's asset review. Now, Saturday is the quirky asset of the week, and this one's quite quirky. It's the Greek windmill by Acapulco. Now, it's kind of 2 for the price of 1. You've got ones with the open sails, which are the ones that spin, and the ones with the closed sails, which, well, they don't spin. Now, if they spin really fast, I am led to believe that these will actually take off and work as actual real-life aeroplanes. Oh, no, sorry, that my mistake. You have to put them onto the sides and then the helicopters, that's right. Now, the thing is, these have a little bonus feature. They are like mini power stations. They produce about 7 megawatts, whatever. Okay, if that's how you had to make them, I get it. I understand the mechanics of the game. But yeah, if you want a tiny little power station at the bottom of your garden, then one of these windmills might just do the trick. Greek windmill by Acapulco. Today's very sweet. Who threw that in? Very sweet, quirky asset of the day. And we're off to Themington Island one last time for one last look at Stray Cats theme Nature Reserve. SCT Nature Reserve by Rafa with the dark green LUT by our old friend Creative Dex. I say friend, never met him. I'm sure he's a lovely guy. That's the important thing. And is he creative? Oh, is Dex creative? He is creative, I've just been told. I've just got the latest news in. Right, let's do a couple of factoids. A couple of percentage factoids. 76% of American men would be willing to have sex with a total stranger for $1 million. Just 76%? Heck, I'd do it for a $5. And I'm not an American man, allegedly. More than 65% of the tea drunk in Great Britain during the 1700s have been smuggled into the country to avoid import taxes. Those damned import taxes. Right, let's have a look at the shipping routes at Ozark Ridge. Not too much to moan about this one. We've just got like a hot dog shaped little inlet, a little bit close to the ground, to the land there, but no, not touching. And that's fine. And back out the way we came. Water flow. And we have 2 rivers, and they are rivers. Yes, you'll be glad to know they are rivers. Water flows downstream, down the hill, and then out here, and then downstream this way, under the bridges, and down towards the hot dog shaped lake. Yeah, a little bit more downstream there. Might have been the water source there. Kind of seemed to lose a bit of momentum, but we keep going, we keep pushing, and then down here to the hot dog. There it is. And all the flows out, pushes out very strongly indeed. And if we go to the other end, we've got water pushing in, which means there's a possibility that somewhere in the middle there might be a sewage trap roundabouts here, possibly. That said, you're not going to be building on either side of this lake. There are steep hills on either side, so you're not going to be worrying about that too much. You draw the water from the clean end or from the river. Now look at this. That's your build plane in there. It's a lovely, lovely map for a build plane. The hills make a really good backdrop. Very nice backdrop. And I was talking about trees earlier. This little patch of trees along the bottom of this hill here. This for me is class detailing. That is classy. I really like it. Just accentuates the bottom of the hill there. Otherwise you just wouldn't notice it, and that is really cleverly done. And then we've got trees in the hills, and I buy into these mostly as well. I think it's really nicely done. There's a lot of trees on this map. A lot of trees. But they're away from the build planes. So you're not going to be demolishing much in the way of trees. Do you know what? I think a lot of thought has gone into this. And I think it's just been done very nicely. What we have along here is all the build planes and no trees at all. So we'd like to see a little bit of tree detailing, of course. This is the oil area, I do believe. And then we've got the rivers. Now, this is where I would normally grumble a lot about there should be more foliage along the riverbanks. If we head upstream here, just want to have a look at the riverbanks up here. I'm not buying into this little bit, if I'm honest with you. I'm not sure about that. But yes, having the right theme can take away from having to put foliage along the riverbanks. And do you know what? I think this theme kind of works well enough that you don't really need any foliage along there, any detailing along there. I mean, it'd be nice to see, clearly, but like along here, yeah, that's okay. That's good. That's good. Just, you know, not overly done. That's a little bit of interest. It's actually very nice indeed. And the hills on the other side, you can get into them. I don't think you really want to. You want to stick to the valleys. Beautiful done. Beautifully done. Right, aesthetically, I think it looks very good. It lacks a little bit in overall perfect realism, but I think it still looks very, very nice indeed. 4 stars. Detailing. It's a bit minimalist, but what has been done to a very good level. Sure, the rail isn't exactly realistic, but I think overall I still want to give this a 4th star, you know. Gameplay potential, yes, loads. Absolutely loads. Once again, we'd rather have an extra highway connection rather than rail connection, but other than that I can't see anything to grumble about. 4 stars there too. So Ozark Ridge by Balloon Wars, a valley with a hot dog sausage lake and a seal of approval. I really like this one. Grab it, build on it, have fun with it. And Balloon Wars, more like that please. Well, thank you very much for watching, commenting, liking and subscribing. Join me tonight at 6 o'clock UK time for a little bit more Ostriv, the Ukrainian village simulator. It's actually a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun with that one. And then tomorrow it's the weekly chart show. Don't miss that one. Oh, what great assets have we got for this week? I don't know, haven't looked yet, but boy, it's a good show. See you tomorrow and have a great day.